Ladies and gentlemen, this is wrestling's last journeyman, the pride of Tater Peeler, Tennessee, and, if I do say so myself, one hell of a hand, Jeremiah Plunkett, and I'm telling you to listen up and give me back my pro wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
For those who don't know, now you know, baby. This is Hot Rod Biggs, Jared, Jimmy Street. We're going to take them to the limit one more time, baby, right here on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one more time to the Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling podcast. And I'm here, as always, with my brother from the same father and mother, the Plastic Sheik, Jared Street. What is up, Sheik?
Oh, not much, brother. Just ready for another great episode. And, you know, I brought the star of today's show with me, a little charisma.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. The territory wrestling guru, the co-host with the mo-host, and the host of today's episode of This Month in Wrestling History with Quinton Quarisma, Episode 4, covering the month of October. How you doing, Q? You excited?
I'm doing good. Oh, yeah, I'm always excited to talk about some wrestling history. That's my thing.
Yeah, that's why we pay you the anyway. So yeah, man, that's what we're doing today. Obviously, that's
why we pay you the high compliments.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, but seriously now, guys, before we get into today's show with Quinton, we've got some cool things to talk about real quick. Obviously, last week we had the grappler Lynn Denton, Captain's Corner, Portland Wrestling Expo 2, Saturday, February 21st. Holiday Inn, Portland Airport, 8439 Northeast Columbia Court, Portland, Oregon. Man, Lenny was awesome. The grappler, missed you, Q,
oh, man. I hate I had to miss that, man. That was hilarious. I mean, he is something else, man.
He was entertaining, man.
Dude, he is nuts. I mean, you were on an honorable mission, being a good husband, so don't worry about that. But but Lenny was awesome, and we'll got to get him back. Seriously, we only got through half the questions, so I mean, really, we've got a whole other episode.
I was like, I remember when you told me, said, don't worry, there's be another episode. I was like, I was like, okay. Then when I heard it, I was like, dang, man, there's so much stuff left.
Yeah, I know. And see, Lenny's them guys that can just riff, and they're like, oh, let me tell you one more story. It's like our question reminded him of two stories sometimes. Mm-hmm. It was awesome. Yep. But anyway, yeah, thank you, Lenny. Thank you, Nick, again for hooking it up. One thing I want to quickly announce real quick. Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling is officially announcing NWA Solder Days. Yeah, we're bringing back Saturday morning wrestling, NWA Saw to be specific, every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern. You can watch my entire 19 episode run in NWA Saw. This runs through February on our Gimme Back My Pro Wrestling YouTube. Judge me harshly, Sheik. No excuses this time on this one, brother. There's some awesome wrestlers that surround my crap. Josephus, Plunky, Drew, Reno Riggins, Chris Michaels, Team IOU, Hammerjack and Dante Tommy Heggie have an incredible wild hardcore match. Superstar Bill Dundee, Tracy Smothers, Rob Conway, my foe Eric Andrews, Tony Falk, and so many more. Tim Renesto, Eron Hatchett. So many stars. It's officially the footage nobody asked for. We're giving you what you don't even care about, surrounded by some great matches, guys. But either way, check it out on the @GMBMPW YouTube. Once again, every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Check it out. Hopefully y'all enjoy that. So Sheik, you got to watch my wrestling stuff now, or you don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've never got a chance to watch this. So a good chance to watch this and have it like broke down to like the episodes I know you're in and everything like that. So it's going to be good for me to see. And hey, all these people that are always listening to us that may not be from that area going to get a chance to see what you contributed to the business, man. So maybe just a little drop in the bucket, but hey, they'll get to see your personality is that they already don't see it here, but or hear it here, but they'll know your love for the entertainment, man. You love the sport and the entertainment of wrestling. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it was definitely a drop in the bucket, but it was a lot of fun. There's some great stuff. I'll say the one that's dropping on February 7th is probably one of my favorites, but this run of shows that I'm going to put on the YouTube is literally, it has the awesome Florsheim shoe finish that I used when I managed the Untouchables, and I made poor JP hang for 30 minutes because we couldn't get my shoe off, but that's a whole other story. But anyway, y'all, if you want to check those out, like I said, they're 19 episodes only. Nobody get their hemorrhoids in an uproar. It's only 19 episodes, but yeah, so anyway, y'all check that out if you want to every Saturday morning. Thanks again. Guys, I don't have anything else. I want to get on to the show of this month in wrestling history, but do you all have anything before you go? I think you just went on a little trip, Sheik.
Yeah, I'm a Fighting Irish fan. College football, it's a love-hate fandom sometimes. They're pretty good right now. They got to win out to probably be in the college football playoffs. So we went and me and some of my buddies and Little Sheik went and watched them play North Carolina State. Notre Dame came away with the victory, and we were happy on the 9-hour car ride back home because of that. So it might have been a little other way around if it didn't. But yeah, Little Sheik's first game there, so it's cool to do. So he loved it. He loved it way more than I would have anticipated. I knew he liked sports and everything like that, but you never know. He's still just 9, so you don't know how they're going to do it a 3-hour game, if they're going to be bored or whatever like that. But he did great, and he got into the booing. He heard some words from fans he probably shouldn't have heard, but yeah, it's he heard he had a count on it at one time. I don't remember how many he heard, but I was like, yeah, let's not tell mommy about that. So,
I can figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's them NC State fans, man. What can you do? So,
well, there was literally an NC State fan and a Notre Dame fan like arguing late in the game, and there were several words dropped in. So I was like,
yeah.
Let's
wow.
Let's just move on, guys. The game's over now. There's nothing to argue about.
Yeah. What was that in old school where he was like, all you got to say is...
all you got to say is earmuffs. Earmuffs. You can say whatever you want.
All you got to say, earmuffs.
Yeah.
Earmuffs.
Those guys might have had a beer 12, so they didn't. They didn't know to say earmuffs.
Beer muffs, more like it.
Beer muffs.
I don't even know what that's saying, so let's just go ahead. Yeah. So anyway, Q, you got anything before we go, brother?
I just want to say thanks to Shane Morton, Virginia Morton, for putting on another great reunion this past weekend down in Murfreesboro. It was awesome.
Very cool.
And thank those guys a lot for everything they do for the boys.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw it looked like y'all had a great time. We missed out on that one again, but fortunately there'll always be another, and we always support the Right Way reunion on this podcast. It was good to see the boys. I talked to Ben Jordan a little bit about it. I'm sure everybody had a great time.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. Got to see my old buddy Marcus Woodrow III. Hadn't seen him in a while. Love that man to death. He showed up. Nobody knew he was going to be there. He showed up, and it was great seeing him. Great seeing everybody that showed up. I love the reunion, and it's just an awesome thing.
That's cool. And man, get Marcus Woodrow on the phone, brother. We need to get him on the podcast.
I know.
Yeah. I offered it to him a while back, but he was going through some health issues, but offer still stands.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's awesome, Q. Like I said, I hate we missed it, but glad that it goes on. I know the boys love it so much. But I think let's go on with the show today, fellas. Let's get a little This Month in Wrestling History. Y'all ready?
I'm ready for it.
Let's do it.
All right. We'll be right back with This Month in Wrestling History, Episode 4 with Quinton Quarisma after these messages.
CHW is continuing the legacy of historic professional wrestling in Tennessee with monthly events at the Armory in Ashland City. CHW owner Mike Green has made it his mission to present the best pro wrestling shows in the Nashville area, and he has been delivering the goods. CHW Wrestling combines all the elements that Tennessee wrestling fans have come to expect. Action, suspense, athleticism, reality, stories, surprises, and excitement, all delivered by the finest professional wrestlers this state has to offer. Follow CHW Pro Wrestling on Facebook for the latest news, announcements, and show dates. And subscribe to Championship Productions on YouTube to see past events like the Ashland City Rumble and the Valentine's Massacre. Fun for the whole family with delicious and affordable concessions on site. Witness the action and excitement of CHW in Ashland City at the Armory. Family Wars, Love and Hate, Championship Gold. A CHW event is everything you're looking for in a night of live entertainment.
Welcome to This Month in Wrestling History with Quinton Quarisma.
All right, guys. So this month is October. Found a lot of stuff. Started a little slow. Seemed like every month it starts out slow, and then it just snowballs and just find stuff everywhere. So we're going to go to that first week, October. We're going to go to Dothan, Alabama.
Nice.
Yeah, that old Gulf Coast promotion. I seem to dig up stuff down there, and
Yeah.
I keep saying it's going to be the last time and find something different. So,
We'll keep saying it.
so we're going to go to October 5th, 1962. Jan Madrid beat Don Fields in a tournament for the Alabama Championship. Now, this is the Gulf Coast's version of the Alabama Championship. And Jan Madrid was the first Alabama champion for the Gulf Coast promotion. So he was the first one for that version. Like I said, there's, they had a Alabama version, the Goulas, part of the Alabama, the Huntsville, Birmingham, all the, that northern Alabama that he had, he owned. So he had a version. And so this was the Gulf Coast, the Fields Boys brothers version of it. So Jan Madrid was the first. Jan Madrid is an interesting character. He teamed with Gene Madrid. You know who Gene Madrid was?
Is that Gypsy?
Yeah, that's right. Old Gypsy Joe.
Yeah.
And Jan Madrid, not only wrestled, he promoted West Virginia in the 60s and 70s. He was he was from the motor in West Virginia. He worked all the 50s, 60s, and the 70s. But yeah, he promoted, had his own promotion up there in West Virginia, had TV. And so he was a interesting character. I read a few things. I think the promotion, it had a good run. From what I read about it, and I've heard about it, some people say he killed it and all this. I don't know, but from stuff I've found, he lost his TV because the TV station that he was recording at burnt down. And they had the building they started using for the new TV station studio didn't have room for wrestling. So so he killed his TV but they said, from what I heard, the promotion was down anyway. Yeah. From it, it's like the late 60s, already said it was like its heyday. I found an interesting article. I'll have to find it. It was around 70 say 72. It involved Gypsy Joe, where him and another wrestler, I can't remember his name offhand. I got arrested for they got into a fight with a cop at the matches and got arrested. That was in G. Madrill's promotion in West Virginia. Yeah, it's look it up, man. It's a neat little promotion that gets no recognition at all. And it had a good run. So, yeah. You never hear about it. Only really, you hear about the Poffos running West Virginia, and it's an outlaw,
right?
You never hear about Joe Madrid, but he had a good run there. So if you got to find information, go check that out.
I wonder if some of our relatives saw some of his wrestling.
That's what I was thinking.
If they live in West Virginia and they watch wrestling, I'm sure they did back in the 70s.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
All right, so now we're going to go to October 4th, 1975. We're going to Wilmington, North Carolina. And man, oh man, this right here could have changed wrestling history forever. But luckily, it did a little bit, but not as bad as it could have. On this day, there was a plane flying into Wilmington, North Carolina for a show. The plane had on board was David Crockett, Ric Flair, Tim Woods, Johnny Valentine, and Bob Bruggers.
Yeah.
So the plane crashed right before it got to the runways. It's a really interesting story if you read all about it. Some things I read, I already knew a lot about it, but the pilot, when they took off, he emptied out some of the gas in the plane because it was so heavy.
Yeah. I heard about that or read that or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I had all those guys plus the pilot, and it was a little bitty Cessna, and they were all crammed in there with their gear and everything. And so he emptied the gas out of the tank. And it's like that. I was like, why would you do that?
You take a dude, not gas. You say, hey, brother, you can't make it. We're going to get you a cab or something.
Yeah, you're going to hit the car, dude, and go to get to Wilmington in a car, brother. Yeah, but that was, and the pilot was the only one that passed away.
That's so crazy.
Man, that is crazy.
Yeah.
I've heard about.
Yeah, it was. I mean, just think if that Ric Flair
could have changed everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is one of those what ifs. I mean,
yeah.
It changed a lot because Johnny Valentine,
never wrestled again, did he? Yeah.
No, he was paralyzed. I think he eventually was able to walk with like the arm crutch things that go on your arms, like the brace things.
Yeah.
But he was paralyzed for a while. He was Crockett's top heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tim Woods was Mr. Wrestling.
Right.
Crockett's top babyface working Valentine in a program. So talking about 75 kayfabe was live and well, and he wrestled the next night because they didn't want it to get out that he was in the plane crash. Because him and Valentine, like I said, were the top babyface and heel working a program.
Golly.
Yeah.
It's like you don't even get a night off after a plane crash.
Yeah, he had to because they said they put his shoot name in the paper, but they didn't want people to
the small chance of putting two and two together.
Small chance, the top heel babyface program in the company, they did not want, it was bad enough that, but luckily that he wore, not many people knew who Tim Woods was that wasn't wrestling fans, like, the EMTs, the people at the hospital, they just seen a guy come in, with the wrestlers. They didn't, because it was where the hood.
Right.
I don't think, I don't think at the time, I don't think it had been a while since he worked as Tim Woods without the hood.
Right. Okay.
So,
yeah.
Especially in Carolina. I mean, I know at that time he was, Wrestling One was, the hood was big. But anyway, so Bob Bruggers never wrestled again. He was done. He was done. It was And then it was crazy because it said Valentine and Woods is supposed to work that night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were supposed to work that night.
Gosh. Yeah. So was Flair in a match with the other guy, Brugger?
No.
Okay.
From what I could tell, Brugger's, from what I could tell, was a babyface, but I don't think he was such an undercard guy.
Got it.
I think he worked both, maybe. There wasn't a lot out there. I mean, he was a former football player. He played for the Dolphins and the Chargers. So, but yeah, it's just crazy because,
the chance that it could have changed everything is crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The what ifs on that one is just, it's out there, man.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Yeah. No 17, 21, 14, whatever you want to call it, time champion, man. That would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, just everything would changed.
Yeah, literally. I mean, because then the guys, the people that were influenced by Flair, could have not. I mean, I could have opened a vortex in wrestling. Anyway.
Well, and Johnny Valentine too.
Yeah.
I mean, because he was the top heel for Crockett.
Yeah.
And he'd been headlining for 10 years. So he was one of the top heels in the nation. And so, I mean, what more? I mean, who knows? He might have been going, they could have put the title on him at one time in the 70s,
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's just one of those, it changed a lot. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it was, that's one of those wild things. If anybody wants to read up on it, go check it. There's a lot of it out there. It's just real interesting that the pilot did that. It just blew my mind when I read that part.
Yeah, that's sad,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to October the 2nd, 1967. And we're going to go to Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to go to the Hippodrome.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, the old Hippodrome building down in Nashville, down in West End.
Yeah.
And it is not Nick Gillis running this show.
Ooh.
Yes. This is the Fields brothers, the Gulf Coast Fields runs the Gulf Coast. They come to Nashville to run opposition against Nick and Roy.
Wow.
Yeah. And, the Fields are part of that Welch, Fuller, Golden, Hatfield, that whole big, massive family.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're running against Roy Welch. It's like, what the crap,
Literally, no.
Yeah, I couldn't find all they had in the newspaper said wrestling Tuesday night Hippodrome, air conditioning. And there was no card.
Yeah.
It's just the ad. So I looked it up. The next week they had a card. It was basically most of the Gulf Coast crew.
Uh-huh.
But there was one name that really stuck out, and I was really shocked at this. Even though he was a Gulf Coast, then in the 70s he worked Gulf Coast a lot, but he actually worked opposition against Nick. Don Fargo was on that card.
Wow.
All 4 shows he worked, and I just was shocked to see Don Fargo running against Nick and Roy.
Yeah, yeah.
Not running, but working on the show, running against opposition.
Right.
At the home office town. Yeah, I was just, I know guys, he worked everywhere, so he worked, but to come straight into Nick and Roy's backyard and work, and he worked for Nick and Roy all those years, with Jackie, and it was really odd, but I guess you got to eat, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I thought that was real. I've always heard about it, them running opposition. So
that's crazy. I mean, that just shows you wrestling business, right? Like,
yeah. Like I said, it's part of that Big Bo family too.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought they're all. I mean, it's not. I think that the Hatfields and all them. I think they're through marriage, but still, it was all under they were part of the family that got sent out to work or promote, part of the territory years and years ago to keep it all under one, family. Welch, Gulas, their territory at one time was just massive. They had somebody in every part of the South running in the office.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was running kind of weird. And I can't remember the year, but I've asked people about it. Nobody can remember it. But they went into Huntsville sometime in the 70s and ran. This was, I think, after Roy had passed, I think. But they went into Huntsville, and I think it only lasted a couple of weeks, and ran against Nick in Huntsville, Alabama opposition. Yeah. So I don't know why they did it. And like I've talked before, every time somebody goes and runs opposition against established promotion, it never works out.
Yeah.
Hard to do it, man.
It's just one of those, but they did. They came all the way up, and that's a lot. Nashville to, Dothan, Mobile area. That's a long haul.
Yeah,
to run out to try to do a startup.
That's determined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's somebody wanted to lose some money. Is that what that was?
Gosh.
Yeah. So, all right. So that ends that week. I found a few little things, but nothing, major to talk about in that first week. So we're going to go on to the second week. October, we're going to go to October 14th, 1966. We're going to go out to LA, California, to the Olympic Auditorium. And I did not know this. This is something I learned. On this day, Lou Thez beat Buddy Austin for the WWA World Title in a 2 out of 3 falls. Okay, I know we been a long back. I can't remember what episode. I think it might have been on one of the weekly ones. That the WWA, which was later became NWA Hollywood with Mike and Gene LaBelle, in the 60s, they broke off from the NWA office and started their own office as WWA, had their own world title. So I've talked a little bit. We've talked about it before. I don't know if anybody remembers. But yeah, so they broke off. They had their own world titles. They were doing their own thing out there. So Thez, 66, he still has ties, especially to St. Louis in 66. For him to go out there and work for a non-NWA, and especially an NWA company that had left NWA and work for them as their world champion, I just thought that was really, really odd.
Yeah.
I know later on, Lou had a falling out with NWA in the 70s, but this was 66.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't too many years removed from him, being a champion. So I just thought it was really, really weird.
Yeah, he would still, have it would still be somewhat fresh, the run. Yeah, for sure.
Even if he was such a NWA, he was the face for so many years. And I say, wasn't that long ago, he was still the face. To him to go and work, I was shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see, we talked about Don Fargo a second ago, going and working against Nick and Roy. That's more feasible than Lou Thez going and being a world champion for another company.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah, that just blew my mind. So
yeah.
And the guy, Buddy Austin, he was a 20-year journeyman. And when I say journeyman, that man worked everywhere. You can all through the 60s and up to you can see his name everywhere. So, yeah, he was one of those guys but that just blew my mind when I seen this. So
it is wild. It is.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna go to October 8th, 1974. We're gonna go to Georgia. Luke Graham. Oh, crazy Luke Graham.
Crazy Luke.
He wins the Georgia heavyweight title. This is the All-South version, which was Ann Gunkels during that. It was right during that the big war for Atlanta. Mm-hmm. He won it in a tournament, and he was their last Georgia heavyweight champion. Because they were winding down, and she was pretty much almost out of business by 74. She was still, you know, it was on its last leg, if you want to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So then we're going to go to October 12th, 1985. This one might not have much history, but has history for me.
Okay.
So we're going to go to Nashville, Tennessee. Going to the, as I like to call it, the miserable auditorium. And this is kind of weird. It's listed as a Great America Bash.
Oh.
But you know, in 85, there was only one Great America Bash, but I've discovered there was two. There was one in Memphis and one in Nashville. And one in Memphis was September, and this one was in October.
Huh.
I don't know why they put it as but on the advertisement in the newspaper says Great American Bash.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was there was 12 matches. It was a long night in Nashville that night. I tell you one thing. I didn't go. I wanted to. I begged my dad to go. He would not. He was like, "Nah, I'm not taking you down there to watch that stuff."
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I didn't get to go. And the main event was Rick Martel against Jerry Lawler for the AWA World Title.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
And, you know, in 85, so I was, 13? I was still a big Jerry Lawler mark. I loved it. And I was like, I got to find it. He finally won the world title. I was trying to figure, you know, I was like, so my dumb butt get on the phone and call it. 107 was like the number one top 40 station in Nashville. And I asked the DJ, I said, does anybody know if the Jerry Lawler won the belt last night at the auditorium?
That's amazing.
The guy, if I would love to see his face. He was like, what are you talking about?
That's amazing.
I was like, the wrestling last night. Jerry Lawler was going for the world title. He's like, this is radio. We don't do sports.
Hey, anybody out there ever question if Quinton is a wrestling
there you go.
fan? You now know he is a true blue dyed in the wool, deep to his core wrestling fan. That's amazing.
Yeah, I felt stupid after I got off the phone.
I mean, I get it, but like, dude, when you're such a fan and you're young, you think everybody
Trying to think of any way.
Yeah.
Well, there's no.
So how did you eventually find out?
TV.
Putting this show together? No, I'm just kidding.
No, they had to wait the next Saturday for TV.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I was hoping you might have found it a little bit before that.
So there was no Crockett involvement with this at all?
Yes, there is.
Okay, gotcha. I was just making sure.
Yeah,
okay.
There was, but it just, there was, but it's not. It's. Let me run down. So they had a 12-man match, which. I ain't even gonna go into that. They had an 8-man, and it was basically all of Memphis's undercard guys worked an 8-man. Yeah. Anyway, and then they had a AWA Southern Tag Hospital elimination match. It was the Fabs beat the Sheepherders, and this Sheepherders was Jonathan Boyd and Rip Morgan, and I'm sure that was just a bloody brawl. There was an NWA World Tag Team Title match, which Rock and Roll Express beat Ivan and Nikita, so that was a Crockett one. Let's see. Here's another Crockett one. Jimmy Valiant and Manny Fernandez beat the Midnight Express. Jimmy was over in Memphis and Nashville at that time, so I'm sure that crowd would have been eating that up.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to see here. Oh, Ron Garvin beat Black Bart.
Okay.
Oh, I think that's all the Crockett. The rest was Jarrett stuff. Fargo beat Buddy Wayne. I think that was just to pop the crowd, bringing Fargo in.
Yeah. Okay.
The Superstar, my Superstar beat Phil Hickerson. My Superstar was not Bill Eadie. It was Jerry Stubbs, which That would have been a really good match because Stubbs could work, and Phil Higgerson is one of my all-time favorites, and he could go. So I'm sure that was a really good match. And the match, I bet it probably stole the show. It was Coco Ware beat Tom Pritchard.
Oh man,
yeah.
Because in '85, man, Coco was hitting his stride. Tom Pritchard was really coming to his own in '85. So I'm sure that match was really, really good. And then Bill Dundee beat the Mongolian Stomper. I'm sure that was a 5-minute punch kick fest. And then Rocky Johnson beat Ron Sexton, which Rocky Johnson he wasn't in Memphis in '85, and he wasn't in Crockett in '85. So that was kind of an odd match. But yeah, that was that show. I said it was everybody. I always thought there was just one Great American Bash in '85, but there was actually two of them in Jarrett territory. So Flair, Dusty, Tully, the Andersons, they were somewhere else that night.
Okay. So I don't think this is it because Lawler's on the show, but George South told a story one time to me about Crockett running in Mid-South Coliseum, and they only let him use certain lights, and it was like the house lights. They had to use the house lights or something because the lights above the ring, they wouldn't turn them on because they said Jerry Lawler owes them or Jerry Jarrett owns them or whatever, and we only turned them on for them. And so Crockett had to. Have you ever heard that?
No, but people going in other people's buildings.
Yeah,
I could see it.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty ballsy, I think, of Crockett to do that, because that's. But anyway, I just heard that story from George South, and I now realize they're not tied together, but still somewhat similar, I guess. So, yeah.
We'll have to consult the Young Rock show to see where Rocky Johnson was then.
Yeah.
Good call.
Wasn't '85 wasn't that time frame where he was working at Chi Chi's after I was doing the maintenance or whatever?
Yeah.
I think he would have been. I think somewhat he would have been in. If that show has any validity, he would have been like in Pennsylvania, where he went to high school. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. It's that's a good question because I don't know how accurate it was or how true they stayed to the
pieces.
Yeah.
All right, so next we're going to go to October 14th, 1985. Another thing that changed, especially for Crockett, this changed Crockett big time. Magnum TA is on his way home. And wrecks his car and never wrestles again.
Travesty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one of those what ifs, man.
Definitely. I mean, it did change everything in a way, so.
In Crockett, it definitely did. In Crockett,
Yeah.
He Dusty strapped that rocket to him, and, sky was going to be the limit for Magnum.
Yeah, seriously. That's whew, it's like I do believe God protects you sometime from certain situations. I'm not going to say that was this scenario because this could be just a freak accident, but sometimes you think maybe, a diversion. I don't know. That's a weird thing I'm talking about here, but it's just such a crazy epic thing, and it almost feels like because it's so epic and all these things, you could see the future with Magnum with the title. It's not that hard to imagine. So just a tragedy for sure.
Well, it's one of those the Flair is a bigger what if in the opposite direction.
Sure.
If he but this, like I said, for Crockett, Magnum was the guy. He was the next guy. He was the next babyface. The only thing I always think about is how long was Magnum's on top span? How long would it have lasted?
Yeah.
Because
could he have had the longevity of Like, I mean, like, could he have been the face of? Because I mean, Quinn, if you go back to our episode where me and Jimmy interviewed Magnum, he acted like he wouldn't have stayed with WCW.
Yeah. I mean, he was like, once Turner bought it, I was out.
I would have been out.
Yeah.
So then that takes him out of that. It takes him. He can be in that Sting role until it's to Turner, but then Sting stayed with Turner, so you don't know. So then, I mean, would Vince might have buried Magnum. I mean,
or kept him in the mid card, Intercontinental title.
Right.
You know,
one thing if Vince did get him, his look for New York. Here's the thing, and it was getting bad at this time. Did you ever look at his forehead?
Yeah.
To be the baby face.
Yeah, he was
forehead was getting bad.
Yeah, I mean his buddy is Dusty ain't no what's the word? He's no good example. Ultimate baby face with a scarred up forehead.
I mean, he's supposed to be that handsome baby face,
right? He wasn't protecting that. Yeah,
no, he was slicing and dicing him every night. That
Man.
And it's just like, dude, your look, that's, you had that rugged look to you, but you still don't want your forehead to look like mincemeat, man.
Right. That's a good point. I've never heard this before, Q. That's a good.
It's one of those things of, but yeah, he was been gone when Turner, he definitely been gone. And even if he did go to Vince, I just don't see.
Well, and that was a slow time for New York. And that there was was it 93 to 95, 96 was a really slow time for that business.
90,
maybe even earlier than 90.
92 was starting to slow down.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Maybe even 90. Then you got a slower time period, and I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm fixing my next thing. That's where I'm going. It's a great lead-in, man.
You're welcome.
We're going to October 10th, 1992. We're going to go back out to L.A., California, but this time we're going to the L.A. Sports Arena. Bret Hart beat Ric Flair for the WWF World Title. Yeah. This is Bret's first run with the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was 92 was starting to. It's when that slowdown was starting to happen because they put that on Bret, and then everybody says, "Well, he was one of the worst champions ever," and he was the start of the decline and all this and stuff. But
Yeah. I mean, so what if Flair would have held it and Bret not put him over? And let's say Flair would have stayed. Do you think that would still be considered the start of the decline? You know what I'm saying? So I do see some people's point. The change kind of was the start of a different period, but was it coincidental? I love Bret, but
I do too. I think what it is. Hogan was down. He was losing his luster.
Yeah.
Warrior was there, and then I think they could have built, but his mental capability of just screwing everything up, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think they put all their.
Just imagine if Warrior had built up Jake like he was supposed to, and maybe Jake don't go down the substance abuse drain for a lot of his career there in that time period, and maybe Jake is a strong enough heel to keep maybe like Bret Hart as the face. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't know. I mean, they had to have that baby face to take over for Hogan because, like I said, he was on the decline. Because and the Warrior was catching on so big.
Right.
He had the kid. He got the kids that kind of grew out of Hogan. Were kind of they were in that seeing Warrior as cool,
Yeah.
So and then I think they're going to put all their eggs in him to be the next long run babyface, and it just didn't have the mental capacity to understand that he was a gold mine, and if he it would have could have lasted a while, but
if he'd have played ball,
Yeah, exactly. And it would have worked out for everybody, and so I think the wrestling world was just kind of reaching for something, and there was nothing there to reach for that main for that what's the word I'm looking for? Not the wrestling fan, but the casual fan that or the mainstream, not mainstream wrestling, but mainstream people, because they knew Hogan caught that mainstream, and Warrior, he had the look, you could critique his work in the ring, but to the 10-year-old kid, the 14-year-old kid, they don't see work rate.
Right.
They see this guy come there looking amazing, going crazy, flashy.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
They're biting onto that, but I don't know.
Here's a theory for you. Michael Jordan was red hot during that time. The casuals went to watch basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's possible. Yeah. It's a good point.
I mean, it's one of those you can't really say, but you got a lot of theories. But anyway, so it's I was gonna say is it's wrestling.
Yeah.
I blame Goldberg.
William Goldberg.
Yeah, he had 92. He was declined before he did that.
Yeah.
I love Bret much more than I do Goldberg as a wrestler, but I think Bret needs to let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, I get why he's always upset, and I get that Goldberg.
But I mean, okay, but here's why. No, hold on, Sheik. I think I like Bret staying to it, because here's why. Goldberg was one of those guys that came into the business, did not care about the business whatsoever, and only saw it as a money venture. Okay, only was in it for no. But here, hang on.
I'm listening to you.
He only saw it for the money, and guess what? Bill Goldberg did. He took a ton of money from Bret Hart by kicking him in the head like that. I understand for Bret's sake, he should probably get over it. I understand that. But the fact that Bret, a tried and true pro wrestler deep to his core, who not only loves being in the business, if he weren't in the business, he would still be watching it because he's a fan of the business. And to be taken out by somebody who is the complete opposite of Bret Hart, I think that's part of the tragedy.
I agree with you 100% on what you said. I just don't think anybody should ever weigh me down as much as Goldberg has weighed down Bret Hart.
I understand. You're right. But I just think there's a lot to it, and that's probably why Bret.
I think so too. But I mean, Goldberg said, I've apologized as much as I can. Like, I mean, there's nothing. What can Goldberg do? Give him a check for?
Yeah, cut him a check, Goldberg. Come on, man.
Maybe if it's all about the money he cost him, cut him a check.
I mean, yes, but it's not ballet, right, Quinton? It's not ballet.
Here's my thing. My thing about this whole thing is Bret Hart keeps it going so he can be relevant.
Maybe too.
That's probably a lot of it. Yeah.
Because, people still talk about his career and thing, but what does people talk about Bret Hart the most in the last 10 years about? Not his titles, his work. It's the Goldberg. It's keeping it relevant, keeping his name on the internet, clicks, likes, everything.
And before that, it was HBK and Vince in Montreal,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. Sometimes I hope I don't end up like this to where a grudge keeps you warm at night. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to live like that, and I hope I don't. But, this is just self-reflection here. But with Bret, maybe it would be better for him if he were to let it go. Yeah. I mean,
a worker's always working.
Good point. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right.
Goldberg.
So next we're going to go to October 10th, 1999. We're going to go to Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. We're going to go to the Casino Magic for the Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view.
Oh, nice.
Okay. This supposedly is supposed to be the worst pay-per-view in wrestling history. Okay, have y'all two ever seen this?
I've seen portions of it.
I'm with him. I've seen portions of it.
Okay, I've never seen it.
Really?
Watch along.
Never seen a match from it. So I got on YouTube. So I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to see what this is about. The first part that stuck out to me was the ring announcer said in the opening of the show says, somebody's going to get their ASS whooped in here tonight. And as soon as he says that, the camera cuts to a group of 8-year-olds cheering like crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But just open up the show with that, which is, well, it is based in St. Louis, Mississippi, too. I mean, come on.
Yeah, maybe that's
it. To be on pay-per-view, that kind of, it was like, all right, well, this is what we got here.
Yeah.
To me, I don't think this was the worst pay-per-view.
I mean, yeah. What's the what? I mean, it's subjective, right? I mean,
I just wrote a few notes down because I didn't want one thing that stuck out for first match, Marty Jannetty was wearing jorts, and they weren't even real jorts; they were cut off pants.
Oh, of course! Come on, Marty.
I was like, but his body looked good. The match was really good. It was a good match.
He can go.
Marty can go though. So it's
with the SST. It was a good match.
Yeah.
Then Too Cold Scorpio. He come out to the ring carrying a WCW replica heavyweight world belt to the ring.
Of course he did. Why not?
I was like, what the crap is it? And there was no graphic saying any kind of champion, nothing on the announce team, nothing. But he was carrying it out there, and man, that match was with Julio De Niro, or whatever his name was at the time.
Yeah,
that match was good. Only thing, there was two things that stuck out besides carrying the replica belt out to the ring was Scorpio backdrop Julio over the guardrail, and dude, he wiped out two kids. Just floored them, dude. They were sitting in the chairs, and man, he flattened them. Yeah, and then Scorpio missed the finish. He came off the first time he did a flipping leg drop off the second, and just pancaked Julio's face. So then he goes up to the top rope and does it. I guess he didn't want to kill him because he didn't wounded him. Missed him by a freaking mile, man.
Gosh, of course.
Yeah. But the George Steele, Greg Valentine, if it went 5 minutes, it would have been okay. After 5 minutes, it went downhill. They had Sherry, and I don't know why when Steele chased her back to the dressing room, why they didn't do the old rip her dress off thing. It didn't make sense. It was right there for the taking. I thought, well, that's what she's out there for. But no. Anyway, the Tully and Stan match was good. It was short, but it was good. Abdul and One Man Gang. Oh gosh, Red Cross match, man. They buckets. Oh my gosh,
I can imagine. Yeah,
Snuka and Orton was good, but it went too long. They got it. If they would have went about 8 minutes, because it was solid, man. It was solid to after about 8 minutes. It kind of lost its steam. The main event, I fell asleep because it was so boring and confusing. And it turned into a tag. It was a singles turned into a tag. And what was crazy was Jake walked back up the ramp, like just looked like he was drunk, staggering, slow.
Yeah.
Goes behind the curtain. Next thing you know, he comes out running full speed. I was like, he went back there and hit a bump of coke or something, man, because he'd come out a house of fire.
That is funny.
I didn't know, walked out there, barely walking, went back. So yeah, and then it turned into a tag, and that was just I don't know what that was. The best part I thought the whole night was Dutch on commentary, Dutch Mantel.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that now.
The guy he was working with, I don't know who he was, but he was clueless.
Yeah, he was not Bob Caudle. That's what his name was.
No, he was not.
Not Bob Caudle.
and Dutch carried him. He did the best he could with this guy because he was clueless. But Dutch was his best part of the show.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, Jake, I think part of the reason they call it that is probably because of the main event. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Because I mean, people consider like a main event to be probably like 50% of the show almost, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe not that much, but you know what I'm saying? It's important to have a great main event and not just names. You got to have a good match, you know?
Yeah.
I know I'm preaching to the preacher here, so I'm going to shut up, but you keep going, brother.
Yeah, that was just that substance abuse match. That's what they should have called that. That was fueled by drugs, and you could tell it was just awful. I mean, that match was just But yeah,
I recently saw something where there was something on YouTube, and Sam Houston was calling the match, and he was just hammered out of his mind. He was doing color commentary, and he was just hammered. So it was a bad time for the Smith boys around that time.
It wasn't like I said. It wasn't the worst. I mean, it wasn't that good of a pay-per-view, but it wasn't bad. I mean, it had some good. Like I said, that Tico Scorpio Julio match. I'd put that on today's TV, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, that finish was jacked up, but you know,
Julio's underrated, I think. So
yes, he was.
Yeah.
And then he started out in up there in East Tennessee with Bo James and those guys up in that area.
Oh, really? Did he?
From what I can remember, yeah, I think he's East Tennessee, West Virginia area. I think that's where he started out up there.
Well, I like him even more then. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I know Bo used him early. I can't remember what his name was. Gosh, I can't believe it slipped my mind. But yeah, I want to say Bo was using him early in his career.
Man, Bo's got one of the. I mean, he's probably. I don't know how long that thing's been running. What, 40 some years maybe? I don't know if.
What Bo's promotion?
Southern States. How long is that thing?
Been 34 years.
Yeah, can you imagine if people?
I think 91. I think 91 was his first show he ran. And man, you talk about go. I like Bo. A lot of people don't, but I like Bo. Go check out his him and John Boucher's podcast. Where he talks about running his first show. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about some carnying going on? And he was like, what was he, 15, 16? Oh yeah. Yeah, he got carnied up big time. So yeah, he got introduced to he'd already been working, refereeing and stuff, but that his first show being run as a promoter, yeah, whew.
Man, I bet. Can you imagine being 15? Golly, some of them veterans would eat you up and spit you out, man. Yeah. So good for him.
And he talks about, and the guy that saved his show was Ivan Koloff.
Oh, God love Ivan, man.
The oldest veteran out there was there, and he saved his show for him.
Yeah, and I didn't know Ivan personally. I just met him a few times, and he was so kind. Selling his daughter's gospel tapes.
I just met him at Walmart selling gospel tapes one time.
Yeah.
I don't think Ivan gets the credit he deserves. I think he's one of those guys that, and for him not being, I know the New York Hall of Fame's a work and everything, but he needs to be in it. Good grief.
Yeah,
come on.
They put him in that legacy thing, and it's just dude, he's a champ.
That's an insult, really.
It really is. You should put Pedro and Bob and Superstar and all of them in there if you're going to do it that way, because Ivan was right there, man, Yeah. So, anyway. And now a word from our sponsor.
Captain's Corner is bracing for a big close to 2025 featuring Glory Days GrappaCon 3 on Saturday, October 25th. Glory Days GrappaCon 3 invades the Hilton Garden Inn in beautiful Lutz, Florida, featuring the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, Abdul the Butcher, Barry Windham, Dory Funk Jr., and many more. This will be one of the biggest assemblance of legends to ever hit the Gulf Coast. Then, as the year closes, we focus on the Portland Wrestling Expo 2. Returning to the Holiday Inn Portland Airport on February 21st, PWE 2 will feature Ken Patera, the Grappler, Gorgeous Joey Jackson, Scott Norton, and over a dozen other stars of the past, present, and future of the Pacific Northwest. Make sure to head on over to Captain's Corner on Facebook and Instagram for full details on both those shows and all of our other signings. Cheers to the working man.
Hey, my name is Tammy Reynolds. I am the wife of Forsaken Rick Reynolds, that super cool guy that everybody knows and loves. And I represent West Side Sauces. I make sauces, I bottle them, I seal them, I sell them. I have a hot honey sauce, I have a sweet sauce, I have a hot sauce, I have a white sauce that's so yummy you can use it on everything. They are absolutely amazing and I'm so proud of them. We make them from scratch. So go on our website, westsidesauces.com, check out our products, read about our story, and go online and order you some of these yummy sauces. And Rick actually uses all of the sauces because he is a die-hard smoker and griller, and so he likes really good sauces and rubs, and I make them, so how convenient is that for him? Go on our website, westsidesauces.com, order you some samples, and I think you'll thoroughly enjoy them. Thank you guys. Be blessed.
We're going to go to October 14th, 1989. We're going to go to Providence, Rhode Island, Providence Civic Center for the 1989 King of the Ring. And this was still before they put King of the Ring on pay-per-view. And we've talked about these King of the Rings, the early ones, kind of makes you wonder who put this order up. A couple things that stuck out was some of the guys that went over other guys. Like Luke, Bushwhacker Luke beat Nikolai Volkov because the Bolsheviks were still getting a good push. That kind of shocked me. A guy named Bill Wood worked Rick Martel in the first round. I looked at Bill Wood. He was an enhancement guy in the late 80s for New York. And I don't know how, but somebody no-showed, and I guess he was helping with security or something, but they threw him in there. Yeah. And so it came down to Tito Santana and Rick Martel. And Tito Santana beat Rick Martel to become the 1989 King of the Ring. The main event was Dusty Rhodes beat Big Boss Man with Slick.
Nice.
That was the main event. So there was
I love
no
those matches with Dusty and Boss Man. Those were good matches.
Did Dusty have what's her name with him?
I don't think he did.
I can't remember.
I can't remember. Because I remember him standing there with the stick and the hat on from Boss Man or something.
But then I was thinking I see her like dancing with him.
Maybe.
She wasn't. Her name wasn't on. So yeah, maybe. I think
hard to say.
She was only on TV, right?
I can't remember.
That's probably right.
They send her on. I don't send money wise flying her to house shows.
Yeah.
And since this wasn't televised.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but there's no Savage, no Hogan. I'm trying to think it.
So Dusty was the top baby?
Yeah, no Bret. Neidhart was on here.
Did it give you the amount in the crowd? Did it tell you how many showed up?
Oh, yeah. I want to say it was it 8,000, 12,000? Somewhere in there. I mean, it was.
Okay.
I mean, it's Providence, Rhode Island, so it's not going to be
right
that big of an arena. So.
Right.
In 89, they were still hot. But like I said, and this was, I'm sure it only got, I don't remember really pushing the ring until it got to pay-per-view. So it might have just been a local push. Maybe I just don't really remember it being
4,500. They say
How many?
4,500.
Wow. That's bad for them.
I mean, that's according to Wikipedia. I mean, I can't swear that that's.
Wow.
But it's October 14th, 1989, Providence, Rhode Island.
Wow.
And I'm sure this was at the time that Vince was like, no, the name carries the card. It doesn't have to have a big name on the marquee. Like Roddy Piper said, I noticed it changed from Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan to WWF is in town, and that was the worst Roddy Piper impersonation ever.
That was like the Roddy Piper cartoon impersonation.
Yeah, I've been watching the cartoon. You got to forgive me. So.
So if I start doing my JYD, I'll sound like Uncle Phil. So.
Hello. That's Andre.
Uncle Phil. All right. So we're going to go to October 15th.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go to October 15th, 1951. We're going to go to Tampa, Florida. Mae Young beat Cora Combs to become the first NWA Florida Women's Champ. Okay, the rumors I put it on here. At the time, that early there wasn't territory women's champions. I know Houston had one at the time, but actually your territory having its own women in the early 50s, I looked everywhere. I couldn't find. I know found Houston had one, but everybody else it was the traveling NWA champion. But I was like, wow, because I mean, you think about it, women's was still a
novelty,
like Andre, attraction. They were still attractions. Yeah. They wouldn't stay in a territory, especially in 51. They were traveling. So. That's the only reason I put down there, because it was the actual territory having their own women's champion. So actually Houston was the only other one. So it was, to me, it's kind of historic, Yeah,
definitely.
All right. So then we'll go to October 21st, 1972. We're going to go to Tokyo, Japan. We're going to go to City Gym. All Japan holds its first show ever.
Nice.
Yep.
The
main event was a 2 out of 3 falls tag match. Bruno Sammartino and Terry Funk beat Giant Baba and Thunder Sugiyama. So that was, I knew it was around that time, but that was their first show in 72. They broke off from JEW.
Very cool.
It was their first show.
Very cool.
All right. Then we'll go to October 20th, 1981. We'll go to Atlanta, Georgia. Michael Hayes and Otis Searstrunk vacated the Georgia Tag Team titles when Searstrunk retires. Have you ever heard of Otis Searstrunk?
I have not.
No, but I want to hear you say it 5 times fast, Quinton.
No, I can say it once.
I've never heard of him.
I never heard of the guy. Never heard of him. And I got him. I was watching some. I was shocked. There's a lot of 81 Georgia out there. Full shows. That's what. Yeah, not just clips, but full shows.
That's awesome. This
guy, he was a former NFL player, mostly known for playing for the Oakland Raiders. He got in the wrestling business. He was a big guy. He reminded me of Sonny King, the way he looked. Big guy. Kind of reminded me of Sonny King. In order to put it on here, because they retired, Searstruck retired, so the belts, they were the last Georgia champions, because they took the belts and they retired the belts, and they made a new, instead of having new Georgia champions, they made new belts called the National Tag Team titles, and they had a tournament held on November 26, 1981 in the Omni, and the National Tag Team titles, and was 83 when Road Warriors, that was their first big titles. They were on the cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated holding those belts.
Oh yeah.
So they got rid of that. So they were the last Georgia Tag Team champions. After that, Georgia changed to the national titles. And I'm just little things I like. Now, not be everybody's cup of tea. All right, now there's something that this coming up. I remember all this. October 16, 1982, Jimmy Snuka turns babyface in the WWF.
Nice.
I remember because we had just got cable in Mount Juliet, and WOR was on our cable. I'd never seen New York wrestling before. It come on WOR like at 10 o'clock on Saturday nights, and I was like, I've seen magazines, never got to see their TV, and I was glued to it. Snuka was the big heel. They started turning babyface slowly. They had a thing called Buddy Rogers Corner. It was like a Piper's Pit. And so Buddy Rogers kept having Snuka and Albano on there, and he kept, planting that seed of Snuka. You get rid of Albano, you could be world champion one day. And they kept building it up. And so then he fires. They did the whole thing of, Rogers said, "I'll look at your financials." He's been taking, the manager's been taking your money gimmick. They've done that forever. He did that. So he fires Albano on one of the corners. Then Snuka challenges Ray Stevens was with Fred Blassie, but then hooks up with Albano to work Snuka. So Stevens challenges Snuka to a TV match, and right before, and this was the old, that old WWF TV. I wasn't like Allentown, I think. So Albano comes in the ring and hits Snuka with something. It breaks. You couldn't really tell what it was because the quality of the film's not that good. Then him and Stevens, they get on him, and man, Snuka hit a gusher. Oh my gosh, dude, it was all over the place. So they jump in. The crowd's going ape. You want to see a crowd going ape crap? They were going ape crap. And it was like I said, it's that old WWF TV where they were right there on the sides of the hard camera. We looking, it was empty, but the sides were really close to the ring, and they were going ape crap. Went out on the floor. Stevens pile driver on the Snuka on the floor a few times, and you could see where the blood, where his whole body was on the floor. It was, oh my gosh, he lost so much blood. He was selling the pile drivers and everything, and so that Snuka is the biggest babyface in the world for them. And what was crazy was Snuka. So Snuka couldn't, because pile driver meant something back then, especially on the floor. He's out, right?
Yeah.
Guess where Jimmy Snuka was at? He was off TV, but guess where he was at? He was in Japan, on TV in Japan.
Wow.
He went to a tour in Japan.
And so this was October of 82, you said?
Yeah, October 82, yep.
So 7 months later, he will have that fateful encounter with Nancy Argentino after this.
Yeah.
Man. Wow.
Yeah. And so when he comes back from tour, Snuka worked Ray Stevens and Captain Lou in a bunch of matches. They worked on, that was the biggest program. Snuka and Ray Stevens, they worked it up for about 5 months. It was their top thing. Snuka was the babyface. He was so over. I always wonder, especially after watching this, and like I said, I remember it back in the day, and I've watched it through the years, how over Snuka got. But Backlund was the heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
And Snuka was blowing him out of the water. Totally.
100%.
And, it's like, senior was still, and junior was, it was the transition starting to happen. And, senior still wanted Backlund, junior wants Snuka. And then, like you said, then that stuff happened. And you can't put the title on Snuka with all that going on, and him being, because a lot of people I've said through the years, Snuka couldn't talk, so Vince, they wanted to put the title on him. That's what they had Buddy Rogers for,
right? Yeah.
Because Backlund had Arnold Skolin as his manager for the last few years,
right.
So they were still in that mindset of, your champion still has a heel or babyface has a manager. So they were still in that mindset. So Rogers could talk. He could talk people into the building. Snuka didn't need to talk, but he was so over. But all this stuff started happening, the drugs, all that, they couldn't pull the trigger on it.
Man. Yeah,
So it's one of those what ifs.
Right.
What if Snuka got in the trouble and then all that coming up about the girl dying, the drug abuse.
Yeah.
What if it happened? There probably never been a Hulk Hogan.
There might not have been, because he was so over. He was a good looking dude. He did things in the ring that nobody did, and he had a great body. The once again, just so over, man. Just Snuka pop was a real thing too,
Yeah,
So.
82. All through 83, man. He was more. They talk about just being white hot, just red hot, just every color of hot. He was every color in one, man. He was, like you said, he was doing stuff. Now, especially in New York at the time, you had not many people coming off the top rope, coming off top of a cage.
Yeah.
Do you think his age would have held him back though? Because he was nearly 40 then.
Yeah, but his regular.
I know. Oh, I know. I'm just asking. Do you think that?
But nobody knew his age because
that's true.
The Office. You look at him; he didn't age. His face wasn't aged until later on, but he was so old then. He started looking, but he didn't move.
Really, until the 90s, he looked fine, though. Honestly,
yeah. And so, he moved like a 25-year-old, looked like a 25-year-old, had a body, of just out of this world. And for New York, it was still had some slow pace, but man, he was flipping, flying all over. He had the rocket on him. He had that rocket to him, and personal life, exploded.
I would love to see a young.
There wouldn't have been a Hogan. There would not have been a Hulk Hogan for a while.
That could have delayed that. That would have been interesting. Did a young Macho Man and Snuka ever work? I think that would have been an incredibly fiery match, man. I'm sure they did. They had to have. I know that's a random question to ask, but
I don't think so.
Yeah,
because
kind of just two different places at the same.
Because Savage was in Detroit. Snuka wasn't there. He was with Goulas. He wasn't there. He did a few things in Georgia. Snuka, I don't think, was down there then. I don't think he worked a few matches in Georgia, not many. And then, they started up, ICW, man, they got branded super, super outlaw. So, yeah. So he didn't work anywhere but ICW. And then he left there and went to Memphis. Snuka was still doing WWF in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So the only time that would happen would have been, after Savage got to
WWF.
Yeah, got there, but Snuka around that time, because I know Snuka had left in '86 for a while and was doing Hawaii and did a couple Memphis shows. So it had to have been one of those in the '80s of Snuka's in and out of working for Vince toward mid to late '80s.
Yeah,
it's the only time I think it was happening. But like in Snuka's prime, they did do. Poffos did work up in Canada. I think the Maritimes in the '70s. Snuka might have they could have crossed paths up there, maybe. That's the only place I could really think of besides later on for Vince. So
got it. Okay, that makes sense. I just think that would have been a fantastic match that time. Those two with that just nut style that they both had at that time. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah, them two guys. I mean, wow, yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Put it this way, it'd be all out, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hair flying everywhere, just nuts.
Intensity, man, intensity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go to October 16th, 1988. We're dropping a year back for the King of Ring because it's a different week. So this is the 88 King of Ring. This one was a little better. A couple things it didn't make sense. Like I said, they all seem like the King of Rings. It was not televised. Mm-hmm. It was not a pay-per-view. The first round match, they put Ken Patera over Nikolai Volkov in 88. I looked at Patera, man, he wasn't winning anything in 88. And the Bolsheviks was getting a good push in 88. It was really weird.
Right.
Savage was in this. Another thing that really stuck out was the first round they put Ron Bass over the Barbarian.
That is interesting.
Ron Bass had been there like a year and a half. I didn't know he was there that long. Barbarian just got there and was getting a good push. And they beat him in the first round.
That makes, I love the Barbarian though.
Mike Sharp beat Boris Zukov.
Oh, boo.
First round. Like I said, Bolsheviks are getting a good push. Mike Sharp hadn't won a match on TV in 10 years.
Yeah.
And then they had a flag match. Jim Duggan beat Dino Bravo with Frenchie Martin. Ron Bass beat Shawn Michaels in the second round.
Man.
I know, this is crazy.
Yeah, Bob Bass is happy right now.
Oh, man. Red Rooster went all the way to the third round.
Wow.
Yeah. He finally got beat by Savage. And this was what's odd. Ted DiBiase in the semifinals beat Ron Bass by forfeit. I guess he said, hey, they've been putting me over best tonight. I ain't doing no job.
I'm quitting. Yeah. I'm out of here.
The final match was Ted DiBiase beat Randy Savage to be the new King of the Ring. Savage was the world champion at this time.
Wow.
That was what's odd that he was in this tournament. So this one was really odd.
Yeah, no doubt. That is weird.
Yeah. I mean, because Savage, 88 won that. That was when the Mega Powers first started around this time?
I think so. Yeah. That's the time frame. Yeah.
I know. And, Ted was getting a major push, but to have your, it didn't say if it was a DQ or count out, but it says he beat him. Surely they didn't have their world champion get pinned or unless they thought, there's no TV, nobody's gonna know it.
Yeah, but we're talking about it here now, so
it's just Oh, and somebody was on here. A friend of the show, Danny Davis, was in the tournament.
Oh, nice! I love the dangerous one.
Yeah, so there was two guys. It looks like had been on the show. Was in the tournament. That's pretty cool.
Awesome. That is cool.
And I don't know if I should do a spoiler alert, but there actually a third guy that will be on our show.
Knock on wood, right? Yeah.
Knock on wood. Was in this tournament. So,
man. Yeah.
Everything's tying in, man.
I love it. That's awesome. Yeah.
So, research assistant just found out Macho Man and Snuka wrestled on Primetime Wrestling December 1989.
Okay.
That was later on then.
Yeah.
And they said they worked several house shows together, but it didn't really say much other than that. I got a video of it. I'll send y'all on that match, the Primetime Wrestling match.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, you can post it on the Facebook page. Everybody can watch
That's what we need to do, guys. Come on. Thank you. Yeah.
Let everybody enjoy it.
There we go.
I do love your follow-ups on your show stuff, man. When you put that on the group, man, I love that. So
I appreciate it. So we're going to get this one. I'm going to run through this and fast. And a lot of this stuff, it don't really have a lot of meaning to me, but anything historical to mean something to me. But somebody. Yeah. So we're going to October 16, 1987, Kansas City, Missouri. The Sheepherders, Luke Williams and Butch Miller beat the Lightning Express, Tim Horner, and Brad Armstrong for the UWF Tag Team titles. This was the Sheepherders were the last UWF Tag Team champions because the next month is when they got bought out by Crockett and Bill Watts. All their champions went to Crockett, and tag titles were dropped. The television champions merged, and I can't remember what they did with the UWF heavyweight champion. Do you remember?
Golly, I feel like, did Terry Taylor have it or something for a minute?
He had the TV title.
TV title, sorry. Yeah.
Him and Nikita had the TV title match.
That's
TV
right.
TV title at Starrcade.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about. Okay,
I
yeah.
cannot remember what they did with the UWF heavyweight title.
That is a great point. And I want to do a deep dive on that whole scenario one day. I really would like to go into that, and just because I mean Watts got one over big time on them Crockett that time. But anyway, I mean it's a cool story, and I'm ultimately glad it happened because it gave us Sting and Hot Stuff and all those great people that came to Crockett. But interesting story. So
because man, UWF was stacked with talent.
Oh yeah, I mean it really fed Crockett some major players, man.
Yeah, I mean they fed Sting too. I mean
that's if anything else, yeah.
Yeah, that's just the one person that got there. I mean that's worth it,
I mean, look at Rick Steiner. He was with them basically until the end.
Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Death was a huge. I mean, so many.
I mean, they don't get credit, but Eddie Gilbert was part of it.
Boom,
he went,
Hot Stuff International. You got to give him props, definitely.
Yeah, and he went on to be. He didn't do a lot of. They did a little bit with him, but he was. He went on to the booking committee. So.
Yeah.
But in the ring, they did a little bit with him. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of talent.
Definitely.
And a lot of talent didn't go too, like Chris Adams. It makes you think, well, Crockett didn't want that headache, I guess.
Must have been. Yeah.
Late 80s, Adams was starting to, from stuff I've always read, he was really starting to get squirrely.
A little wonky or whatever, right?
Yeah. All right. So earlier I said my notes got messed up. So we're going to backtrack a little bit, and I'm sorry, folks, if I'm messing with your mind. We'll go back to October 8th, 1991. Okay. We're going to go to Montgomery, Alabama. The York Foundation, Terrence Taylor, Thomas Rich, and Richard Morton beat Dustin Rhodes, Z-Man, and Big Josh for the WCW World Six-Man Tag Team titles.
Wow.
And the York Foundation was the last tag team champions. The belts were retired about a month later, and from all I can tell, they just faded away.
Man, yeah. I love that York Foundation, though. Obviously a punky mark as much as I am. I just love the look, and it was such him and Tommy got similar gear. Their pants were like their heel tights or whatever, and Ricky had changed the rock and roll look a little bit, slicked his hair back. It was a cool deal, man. I thought it was
he was. I want to say a month or two ago, he found some of his suits that he had for the interviews. Yeah. He was talking about them online. I don't know if he was selling them.
He was selling them, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's the only time you ever saw Ricky Morton in a suit.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Seriously. I mean, I saw him at the Memphis Hall of Fame, and he was not wearing a suit. So, yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go to October 28, 1966. I'm going back out to LA, California, to the Olympic Auditorium. Mark Lewin beat Lou Thez for the WWE World Championship.
A week later, 2 weeks.
It was like, what was that, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So
we got the payoff in the show, the same episode.
It makes me think. So did he just come in there to do maybe a favor?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he wasn't coming in to work full time again, and be an outlaw.
Yeah.
Maybe he was doing an old time favor for some, because I want to say Jules Strombo, which not the one, the friend of the show, but the original Jules Strombo, which was part of the promoter, owned it with the LaBelles, Jules Strombo. Maybe he did it a favor for Jules.
Maybe, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, who knew? He probably didn't think anybody would be talking about it 60 years later or whatever it is. Like somebody's pointing this out.
Yeah, some fat guy trying to dissect it 60 years later.
I mean, that's what we're here for, folks. So
That's the one thing I could think of now after we talked about it a while ago was Jules Strombo. Because I think he had ownership up until the 70s with the LaBelle, and that's the only thing because he was the promoter forever out in L.A. I don't think I can think him doing a favor.
And speaking of Jules, the one we know, I kind of don't like this about wrestling, how you have someone who's somewhat, not necessarily legendary, but they built that name of Jules Strongbow, you know what I'm saying? And for them to give it to him, it's just kind of awkward, I think, or weird. But maybe that happened way more than I'm even thinking of. So.
Jules Strongbow was in the 40s and 50s.
Okay, so
I want to say by 60s. I think by 60s. He was already retired.
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe when they did Chief J, maybe there was a tie-in, but I don't know because there's no lot of TV coverage from because what did he turn? He went from Scarpa to Strombo, 71?
Gosh, you'll know that more than me. Yeah, I don't know that.
I mean, so maybe there was a tie-in with Jules.
Giving him the name,
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a good.
From what I can remember, I've never seen any pictures of the original Jules with a headdress and stuff.
No. Okay.
So I don't know. I just know he was a big, big man. I don't know that.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
It's. I think it now. Think about it. I think he's probably just going out there. He probably talked to Mushnick and said, "Hey, I'm gonna go out here and do Jules a favor." They probably Mushnick's like, "Yeah, go ahead." Jules was a good dude to work. He was was part of the NBA for years. So
I mean, they're not gonna tell Lou no. It's like no, Lou. Yeah. Maybe they would. Yeah.
Who knows? It's 60 years ago. It's all guessing. It's all guessing. All right, so we'll go to October 30th, 1987. We're going to go to Knoxville, Tennessee.
Nice.
Dutch Mantell beat friend of the show, Wendell Cooley.
Oh, daggone.
For the Continental Heavyweight Championship. And the reason why I put this on there because Dutch was the last Continental champion for Ron Fuller's CCW.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ron Fuller sold, just right after this, he sold to David Woods. David Woods changed the promotion to CWF, Continental Wrestling Federation. And from what I can remember, they didn't have a champion until October. Actually, I think it was October of 88 in the big historic marathon gimmick of the Road to Birmingham. Because I remember people talking about it was like in the magazines for like 6 months. The Road to Birmingham to crown the CWF heavyweight champion, and it was like it lost its luster. I'm sure that people on their TV had to lose their luster because I remember looking seeing it in the magazines and thinking this thing's still going on.
Yeah.
The Road to Birmingham. That's a long road.
I mean, if you're coming from Northeast or something, yeah.
Good grief. But yeah, so he was the last Continental champion for Fuller, so I put that on there.
That's cool.
And this one, this one hurts me. I didn't want to, but I had to do it. October 28th, 2020, Tracy Smothers passed away.
Yeah. That's a loss right there, man, because he's not only what he meant to the big picture of pro wrestling as just a major awesome name in the business, but to guys in the Middle Tennessee area, he was a patron saint, you know what I mean? So
yeah, Tracy was something that it just didn't come along all the time. I mean, somebody that worked everywhere, a name that would come in and work and help every guy on the card if they wanted it.
Absolutely.
It just, I'd go, year, 2 years, I'll see Tracy. And then, you'd be sitting in Columbia and Tracy come in. Here he comes in, gives you a big hug, sits down. So everything's going, Quinton. How's the gimmicks? I'm like, so you still doing that enziguri? Oh yeah, Tracy. It just will talk to you, and what can I do? And then like I remember, it's been a while since I've seen him, and was in Columbia. Columbia didn't, and he was working babyface this night, and back then dressing rooms didn't connect in Columbia. And so I was going out to a truck in the parking lot behind Grand Summit. After it was over, he came walking by. He said, and this, I want to say this was 99-ish, maybe. I can't remember right off the top of my head. He was like, hey, Quinton, looking good, buddy. He said, you still doing that enziguri? I watched your match. Looking good, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many people, he was special, man. He meant so much to so many of the boys around here.
Definitely. Definitely. To say exactly what you just said, I don't have that intimate of a conversation with him, but I remember one night at Saw, I was getting keyed in pretty well. I was managing the NWA Southern Heavyweight Champions, the tag team champions, Tyson Dean and Andy Anderson, and I was managing Rob Conway that night, and came in, and Tracy was like, hey brother, I need you, man, I need you. And I was like, man, I'm on twice tonight, I don't think they'll let me go out. And I think if I would have pushed it, they would have probably let me, but it worked out that he got another manager, and I just regret that, because that was the last time I ever got to see Tracy alive, and I really wish that could have worked out, but it is what it is. Bigger things have happened in past that didn't get to happen, but one of the absolute joys of my time doing podcasting was a couple years ago on the Live in Color podcast. We did a tribute to Tracy, and honestly, it crashed a computer. I mean, it was a labor of love for me that I did not think I was going to get out in time, and I did, thank God. And man, that was a joy to get to be able to do that. So Tracy's a special person for sure.
Yeah, I remember one night we was in Lebanon, Tennessee. I want to say this was like 95. Mo and Mabel ran Lebanon. It was a disaster. I'm not kidding. There was maybe 10 people in the crowd. I mean, that's wow. And that's stretching it. And I don't know how many people were, family of the boys.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. No, it was bad.
Yeah.
I wrestled the first match. I come back. I already got dressed. Tracy was sitting there getting ready to go out. He looked over. He's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm just waiting for my money. He's like, hey, come on, let's go have some fun. I said, huh? He said, come on. I said, all right. After I managed Tracy, he's like, spur of the moment. His musical's already playing. He's like, look, come on, let's go have some fun.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, that is awesome.
And that was, we went out there and we just had a blast,
What gimmick were you working at that time? Were you at that time?
Actually, that for Mo and Mabel, I was Quinton Cobain. That's when I first started. That's when I first started doing it.
That's my low-key favorite gimmick of yours, actually.
And I think that might have been the first night. No, this is the second night, because the first night I did, it was for Mo and Mabel in Springfield, Tennessee. So it was on the same time I think I ever did it. I think.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but I was sitting there, already dressed. I was in my street clothes. He knew his music played. He just looks over. He's like, "You want to go have some fun?" I was like, "I thought somebody after the show."
Right. Yeah.
Like, yeah. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh wow." He's like, "Come on."
Right now. Okay, let's do it. Well, we'll do that too.
He didn't care if you've been working forever or worked everywhere. It didn't matter to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He talked to you. He treated like you equal, and he wanted to help you.
Yeah. And I'll never forget him screaming, cursing the white boy in Council, Virginia, when white boy grabbed that flag from him, and it was on then.
Oh yeah,
man, those guys could put on a heck of a match, man. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you one of the funniest things about Tracy. I remember watching. We got Continental up here in like January of '88 for like 3 weeks in Nashville, and I'll never forget because I had it recorded. I'll never forget this. They had switched from Batwell down to, I think they were in Dothan at the Ag Center for a few TVs because there was nobody there.
Yeah.
Tracy and Steve Armstrong come out, doing the Southern Boys. Tracy's waving his flag and stops in the front row and goes, "Here you go, wave this flag, big man." Okay, guess who he gave it to? A 70-year-old black guy.
Oh, I was gonna guess a black guy. Yeah,
and
but
you know what? And you know what?
He waved it like he
waved that stew out of that thing.
I bet he did. Oh man, that right there is proof that we can all get along, folks. So,
yep. Yeah, when he did, I mean, I'll never forget that. And I had it on tape forever. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh man. Rest in peace, Tracy. We miss you, buddy. Definitely.
That was going to be my last thing, but I was like, I can't end on that. I mean, because it hurts me because, so I kind of switched it up. The last thing we're going to go to is October. I don't know the exact date because I couldn't find it anywhere. So sometime the month of October. So we'll just go end it out with this. October 1968, the WWA rejoins the NWA and becomes NWA Hollywood.
Oh, wow. What day what year was that?
1968.
Holy cow. Okay. Yeah.
So they had that, was it a 5-year run on their own as their own promotion, no ties to anybody. Had their own world champion. Their world champion at the time, when they converted over, was Bobo Brazil. But yeah, so they left. They dropped all. I guess it just never. I mean, you don't get that world champion coming in, so you don't get those house pops.
Yeah,
they tried it for a while. It just,
Yeah. That's good info though, because that's still going today, I believe, right? NWA Hollywood, or is this probably a different Hollywood?
Well, it's different, but I mean, it's the name. I mean,
right. I don't know if it's still running today. I'm sure it is, but I don't know if it's NWA Hollywood. But
I used to watch the crap out of that, and then around 2010-ish,
right,
to about 2014 probably, because they were on what channel was that? Oh crap! It was a sports channel that was like a race. They had a lot of racing on it.
Oh, Speed? Was it Speed?
I think it was Speed before Speed got kind of popular. It wasn't on. I think because I know we had Dish, and then we went to Dish Network or vice versa, and it wasn't on one of them; it was on the other. And when we got the other one, it was on it, and I never heard of the channel. But it was on there, man. It was really good. Man, they had a lot of good talent for independents at the time. I watched it, and then I switched cable, a different cable company, and they didn't carry it, so I kind of watched. And then later on, I found it on the internet. They were on some one of these wrestling channels that has all the stuff. It was on there, so I kind of started watching it. But it had all new guys, and I stopped watching it. But then for like about a 4-year period, I watched it like every week. I thought it was one of the best independents there was.
Yeah,
it was definitely really, really good.
Yeah,
really
definitely.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. They were burning it up for a minute, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's where what's the guy, Joe Galley?
Okay.
Yeah. He was one of their announcers. I'm trying to think who else. There's a guy, Tito Esposito, who's in, I think, All Japan or New Japan now. He was there. Peter Avalon. Worked for AEW. He was there.
Yeah,
him and Ray Reyes or something like that. They were a tag team, and they worked a program with the Rock Nest Monsters for about a year and made some of the best indie matches I ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were they were really good.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Go check those out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you go find some of that NWA, I'm sure it's out there somewhere. But yeah, that 2010ish to about 14, 15, they had some really super good talent, and they had a manager, Stu Stone, who was one of those guys born 20 years too late.
Yeah.
He would have been a top territory manager. He was really good.
Like Hot Rod Biggs.
Yeah, he could talk.
Yeah.
Oh, Scorpio Sky was on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember,
that makes sense.
I'm trying to think of the guys that you know.
God, that's a great talent. I feel like AEW missed the ball on there, but I don't know.
Well, everybody missed the ball even before then.
That's true. That's true.
Man, I was watching matches, like I said, on Hollywood. The NW Hollywood with him was just like, man, somebody signed this guy.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I'd seen Scorpio wrestle, of course, Ring of Honor and stuff. But, when he first did that, I remember he had one of the first best showings of AEW. And I was like, golly, that guy's your star right there. And they didn't do anything with him. So
I remember, like I said, he was having just fantastic matches in NW Hollywood. And I was always wondering, nobody's picked this guy up. Well, what? I was like, I didn't understand. I mean, I know it's like, well, I mean, surely somebody's seen him. You know?
Yeah, you would think. Yeah.
Yeah. But he was on. I remember him. Yeah, it was the first time I ever saw him was on there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But there's a few things I kind of left out, and in it, time wise, I left out that. But that was most of the big things that happened in October.
I thought it was a great show, brother. Seriously.
The stuff, and it's kind of hard because I'd go, deep diving, and I'd find stuff. I'd see something like, oh man, and you see, it'd say like a grudge match, and like, I wish I knew the build up to it to talk about the build to why that was, But it's no territory. There's no TV to figure it out. You can read press clippings, but it's like. So I kind of left stuff. I was like, at least I could go all day if I did stuff like that, and but you just can't. But it's like, if we had TV from back then, there's so much good stuff that's never going to get talked about or seen. Angles that nobody knows about. They'll see a press up a clipping out of the newspaper, like big, there was the main event, grudge match, steel cage match. Texas is like, oh, how did they get to that? Because that ain't something you just throw out there.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's not a starting. It's not a starting match. You don't start an angle with that.
So I'm saying that's the whole thing of there's so much history, great history. It's been lost because there's no TV. There's no, just nothing out there to a week by week. Even if there would have been newsletters back then, just something to so many great angles.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. I could not agree more.
I'll just try to find what I can, piece it together, and hopefully somebody learned something. I learned a little something this time. So,
hey, we thank you for it, buddy. Seriously,
I'll take the opportunity to let me do it. So tomorrow. Or sometime this week, I'll be starting on November.
Awesome.
Which I think November will be a little better because seemed like November, especially in the South.
Yeah.
November was, you started building up for that big Thanksgiving show.
3 great men were born in November, too. So, did you know that? Quinton Quarisma.
Thank you.
Jimmy Street and the King, Jerry Lawler.
Hey, got one.
Yeah.
Dutch Mantell.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because Dutch and King are born on the same day. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
And this has been
This Month in Wrestling History with Quinton Quarisma.
All right, that was one more excellent episode of This Month in Wrestling History with Quinton Quarisma. We'll be right back to wrap things up with Sheik, Quinton, and myself after these messages.
Relive the glory days of Memphis wrestling with the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. Each week, we go back in time to review USWA Championship Wrestling from the 1990s, episode by episode. Join us for watch-alongs, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive interviews with people who were there and lived it. Whether you grew up watching it or you're discovering it for the first time, this podcast is your ringside seat to Memphis wrestling history. It's all a part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. Listen now at uswapodcast.com.
Hi, this is Mike Needham, host of the Reckless Abandon podcast with Mike Needham. We invite you to jump on your favorite podcast platform and search for the Reckless Abandon podcast and give us a listen. I'm sometimes joined by a part-time podcaster, part-time co-host, and full-time wife, Tiffany Nicole. We talk wrestling, we talk pop culture, we talk local events, local happenings in West Tennessee, and a ton of other stuff. But be sure to check out the Reckless Abandon podcast. Find us on Facebook. Also, look up the Microgroup Podcasting family on Facebook and see some of our other podcasts we have out there. Until next time, make good choices and always remember, no dollar, no dice.
Oh, Sheik and Quinton, man, that was awesome, Q. Thank you so much for that. I mean, October, so much history, and everybody thinks Halloween and spooky season, but dude, there was some good wrestling going on back in the day, man.
Yeah, there was more than just Halloween Havoc going on in October.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, even that would happen in November sometimes. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like November 1st or 2nd or whatever. But I remember that happening. But yeah, man, good show, good times. Definitely appreciate this, man. We get so much good feedback about these episodes. So y'all keep those coming. I know Quinton likes to hear it. Make sure he's doing a good job. He likes to know he's doing a good job. And y'all telling us sometimes lets us know that. So let us know what you think when you get a chance. I know we surely appreciate it, right, Sheik?
Absolutely. It's always good to know you liking what you're hearing, and that we'll give you more of it.
Yeah, and school is in session, and it's good class. You get to learn good stuff. You don't have to read and write and arithmetic and stuff, So.
Hey, Jimmy.
Wrestling.
Hey, Jimmy, I want to give a shout out.
I
want to give a shout out to Dan the Man. Saw him at the reunion, and he come up and said he listens to the show. So give out a shout out to old Dan the Man.
Dude, Dan is awesome. I met him at the reunion a couple years ago, and I've, talking to Kroll, I've heard about him so much. But that dude right there, honestly, is one of the unsung heroes of the Middle Tennessee scene, because that dude does so much and nobody even knows it. So got to give him props. Dan, he does things for the wrestling business that are so important that honestly people would never hear about shows if he didn't do what he did. So I don't want to go too deep into all that, but Dan is very cool, and it was a pleasure to get to meet him. We got to get him on here someday, man. So yeah. So I've been meaning to do that anyway. So we need to make that happen. But anyway, Dan, I thank you for listening, man. And even though I haven't seen you in a little bit, I appreciate you, brother. So thank you, buddy. One thing we gotta, as we always do in every show, whenever our buddy Captain's Corner Nick has something going on, obviously it's the Portland Wrestling Expo 2, Saturday, February 21st, Holiday Inn, Portland Airport, 8439 Northeast Columbia Court, Portland, Oregon. Nick, we thank you so much for everything, brother. Greatly appreciate you. But yeah, thank you so much, Nick, for everything as always. Guys, for next week, we're not telling yet, but it's going to be a good one. We promise. If you want to know all about it, it's at GMBMPW on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Once again, every Saturday is now a Solder Day through February. You'll get to see the entire run of my little bitty time in the Millersville wrestling scene. Anyway, if you're bored, check that out sometime. But guys, other than that, I got nothing else. Y'all got anything?
Nothing from me.
What about you, Q?
Go buy a shirt.
That's right. We're working on something new, guys. There may be a new wrestling t-shirt site for Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling. Stay tuned. Working on some new designs. Got some cool things coming. Stay tuned to that. So thank you, Q. All right. Once again, we got to thank Q for this month in wrestling history, episode 4. We'll see y'all next time on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Don't forget.
Buddy, there's only one thing I like to mention. I don't say much, but I just like to ask you just one thing.
Yes, sir.
I would like you,
yes, sir,
to be my manager.
Stuff, ladies and gentlemen, but Jimmy, I will give you an answer very shortly. Believe me, I just can't right this moment. Thank you.
Now we're going to go back up, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now this is going to be a matchup that will be most interesting to say the least. Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Mr. Snuka against Ray Stevens. And you can see, based on the fans here, they are so excited about Mr. Snuka. They are so excited about Mr. Snuka. It's going to be difficult containing their excitement. Let's go now, the Joe McHugh.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the next contest is scheduled for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing in the corner to my right from San Francisco, California, weighing in at the...
Final second. Ray Stevens coming over from behind. Stevens and Alfredo. Ray Stevens hammering away on Snuka. Snuka over the top rope.
Lou Albano is really disgusted.
Ray Stevens out there.
Ray Stevens.
And Ray Stevens hammering away on Snuka.
Well, Gibbs, Ray Stevens says he didn't want to see Superfly Snuka.
No!
Well, I'll bet you, Vince, we ain't going to see Superfly Snuka for a long time to come.
Snuka holding his neck. We'll be back.
With a tear in my eye. This is the greatest moment in my life.
We'll see you later.
This has been a James Rock Street production.